a guy who would reckon, and his name was Mordecai. Cowboy Purim. I see a cowboy out there. Cowboy Purim. Refried Hamantashen. Cowboy Purim. Cowboy Purim. Mordecai will squash him. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey, oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. Mordecai challenged him to a duel. They met on the streets of town. Everybody watched on that fateful day when Mordecai, he brought old Haman down. He had a 6 grogger in each hand. When they were through, there was peace in the land. And his name was Mordecai. Everybody now. Cowboy Purim. Cowboy Purim. Refried Hamantashen. Refried Hamantashen. Cowboy Purim. Cowboy Purim. Mordecai will squash him. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. Oy vey, oy vey, oy vey. Yeehaw! Howdy, y'all. I'm a cowboy from the southern part of Italy. That's right, I'm an Italian cowboy, because over there in Italy, they have these things, which is for the festival. They wear these special masks for their festival, which is their festival. And a lot of their traditions made their way into our special festival of Purim. So I got my own built-in grogger, see? I just shake my head whenever I want to make some noise and blot out the name of... What's the name that we're blotting out? Can I... Haman. Boom. All right, everybody grab a seat. Grab a seat, everybody. It's hard to hear me, I know. We need everybody to grab a seat, because we're going to get ready for the Purim spiel. But first, before we get for the Purim spiel, we have to start with the Megillah reading. So let's practice. What are we going to do when we hear the name Haman? Boo. Okay, I didn't get enough reactions. 1, 2, 3. Haman. Okay. Is this loud enough that everyone can hear me? Yes? Okay, good. That's important because we got some lay people to come on up, and we have professionals as well. We're all going to take part in one of the 4 mitzvot of Purim, the primary one being to be able to hear the Megillah being read. So, shh. When we're not hearing the dreaded Voldemort-like name of Haman, boo, we're going to be quiet.
Can you tell all the religious school parents they need to check in with Julia to sign their kid out?
Okay, I guess we're in the middle of sign out for religious school, so you need to check in with Julia for religious school sign out. Parents, check in with Julia for religious school sign out. That's what I was told to report. Okay, so until we hear that name, though, we need everyone to be quiet so everyone can hear all the readers. And we're going to jack up the sound here as loud as it will go without causing feedback for your pleasure. For the first chapter, I would like for the following people to come up. Rabbi Amiel Hirsch to kick us off. Yep. And then after that, Edna Jaffe. Edna, are you here? I saw you just a little bit ago. We need you up here, Edna. Huh? I can't hear you. Is Edna here? Edna Jaffe. Danny Moss. Ian Benjamin. That wasn't Edna that I saw? That was not Edna. Does anybody know Edna Jaffe, and has anybody seen Edna Jaffe? I knew that there would be some people who might be delayed or not show up on time, so I was stalling for some time here. Do you want to read her part? Okay. She's verses 4 through 12. Okay, so it's going to be Rabbi Amiel Hirsch and Rabbi Cantor Sam Natov, Danny Moss, and Ian Benjamin. So before we begin, though, I'm going to begin with, we're going to use this booklet. Does everybody see the booklet here? Great. So we're going to go through this. We're going to start off with the blessing. You open it from right to left, okay, the Hebrew direction, okay, and in the inside cover you'll find 3 blessings. We begin with 3 blessings, okay? The first one is for the reading of the Megillah. The second one is for the miracle of Purim, and the third one is for the Shechianu. It's a lot like on other holidays. We have these 3 blessings we begin with. So let's chant this together. Is everybody with me? 1, 2, ready, go. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al mikra b'gilah. Next one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam she'asa nisim la'avoteinu bayamim hahem bazman hazeh. Last one. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehechianu v'kiyamanu v'yahigianu lazman hazeh. Chapter 1, verses 1 through 3, Rabbi Hirsch.
ויהי בימי אחשוורוש, הוא אחשוורוש המולך מהודו ועד כוש, 27 ו100 מדינה. בימים ההם בשבט המלך אחשוורוש על כיסא מלכותו, באשר בשושן הבירה. בשנת 3 למולכו עשה משתה לכל שריו ועבדיו, חיל פרס ומדי הפרטמים ושרי המדינות לפניו.
Thank you. Okay, one last call for Edna Jaffe. If you're out there, Edna, please come and report to the front desk. Any last call for Edna, or it's going to Rabbi Cantor Sam Natov. No? Going 1, 2, 3. Rabbi, take it away.
All right, this is for Edna. What again, Hiddigi should code that I got rid of it, should give that I got Hiddigi's Glagor, the gas kicking, did I gum. And again, that I got the gaze that I got slit again, the jazz to guess to give, but again, it again, the gaze. What again, had a gun, again, and again, and again, and again, and gaze. And again, what again, that the geese to the gaze, what a girl for the gift for a guild. That I got kidding, mitigated, I got but again, could I get put a gore at the golf, that I got pretty for the goal, who to go where to go, put a gas, that again, should do, should have gone. That I got could have got but a goal,
Whenever she ends this,
but a go to the go, could I get it against, but a goal, to the gap, but again to the gaze. And again, that I got could have gored, and I got that I got good guarded again, and I got that I got could have gings, but a gal, I guess. There, but a girl, what a guy, good again, and again, blood a goo, hit again, get a gings, but a gas it again, would a gift, could have gourds, and I got put a guy, and again, and again, put a girl, put a goal, to the goose, to the gill, but a girl, would a gings. And again, put a gill at a girls, and I got met a gar, but a go. that got Bidagads, Whittaker, and a got good gold, and again, Sidagil, Whittaker, and a got Bidagon, and a got Bidagave, and a got Bidagal, Bidagastiger, Midagar, Bidagal, Midagathanagar, and a got Bidagirl, and again, Bidagash, Sidagas, Sidagones. How far do I go?
I think that's good. That's number 12. Okay. In what was that? Pig Latin? Oh, gibberish. That was in gibberish. Thank you very much, Rabbi Cantor Sam Natov.
Okay. Vayomer Hamelech HaHachamim Yodei Hehatim Kichen Dever Hamelech Lifnei Kol Yodei Din Dat Vadin Vahakarov Elav Karshna Shatar Admatat Tirshish Merez Marsna Michuchen Shivat Sarei Pras Umadei Roe Pnei Hamelech Hayoshvim Rishona Habimachot Kedat Ma Laasot B'Malka Vashti Al Asher Lo Asata Et Amar Hamelech Achashverosh Biyad Hasarisim.
And now Ian Benjamin to finish off this chapter. And meanwhile, I would love to call up for the second chapter Joan Dichter, Rabbi Neil Borovitz, Rabbi Dahlia Samansky with her daughters Tova and Naomi. And we're going to continue to finish chapter 1, and between them I will read to you a brief summary.
ויאמר ממוכן לפני המלך והשרים, לא על המלך לבדו עבדה ושתי המלכה, כי על כל השרים ועל כל העמים אשר בכל מדינות המלך אחשוורוש. כי יצא דבר המלכה על כל הנשים להבזות בעליהן בעיניהן באמרם המלך אחשוורוש אמר להביא ושתי המלכה לפניו ולא באה. והיום הזה תאמרנה שרות פרס ומדי אשר שמעו את דבר המלכה לכל שרי המלך וכדי בזיון וקצף. אם על המלך טוב יצא דבר מלכות מלפניו ויכתב בדתי פרס ומדי ולא יעבור אשר לא תבוא ושתי לפני המלך אחשוורוש ומלכותה ייתן המלך לראותה הטובה ממנה. ונשמע פתגם המלך אשר יעשה בכל מלכותה, כי רבה היא וכל הנשים יתנו יקר לבעליהן למגדול ועד קטן. ויטב הדבר בעיני המלך והשרים, ויעש המלך כדבר ממוכן, וישלח ספרים אל כל מדינות המלך על מדינה ומדינה ככתבה ועל עם ועם כלשונו, להיות כל איש שורר בביתו ומדבר כלשון עמו.
Beautiful, thank you. Past President Ian Benjamin, who will be serving up drinks for us after the program. Yes, thank you very much. I just want to explain this book briefly is divided into 10 chapters. And we just finished chapter 1. We're now on chapter 2. We're going to begin that. I'm going to read some brief summaries of what we just read. First of all, it begins chapter 1. King Ahasuerus of Persia holds 2 giant parties, and his wife Vashti leaves him. Okay? Chapter 2 begins with a search for a new queen, resulting in Esther, the cousin of Mordecai, being taken to the palace but not sharing her Jewish identity. Together they save the king from 2 plotting palace staffers. Chapter 2.
After these events, when King Ahasuerus' wrath had abated, he remembered Vashti and what she had done and what had been decreed upon her. So the king's attendants advised, let beautiful virgin girls be sought for the king, and let the king appoint officers in all the provinces of his kingdom, and let them gather every beautiful virgin girl to Shushan, the capital, to the harem, under the charge of Hegai, chamberlain of the king, custodian of the women, and let their cosmetics be provided. Then let the girl who finds favor in the king's eyes become queen in Vashti's stead. The plan pleased the king, and he acted accordingly. There was a Jewish man in Shushan, the capital, whose name was Mordecai, son of Yair, son of Shimei, son of Kish, a Benjaminite. Related to you even? No, okay. Kish had been exiled from Jerusalem with the exiles that had been exiled along with Jeconiah, king of Judah, whom Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, had sent into exile. He had raised his cousin Hadassah, also called Esther.
Yes! Yay, go Esther!
For she had neither father nor mother. The girl was shapely and beautiful. And when her father and mother died, Mordecai adopted her as his daughter. Now, when the king's order and edict became known, and many girls were gathered to Shushan, the capital, under the charge of Hegai, Esther was also taken to the palace under the charge of Hegai, custodian of the women. The girl found favor in his eyes and won his kindness, so that he hurried to provide her with cosmetics and meals, and the 7 maids that were to be given her from the palace. He also transferred her and her maids to the best quarters in the harem.
All right.
All right.
Rabbi, I think we might have went shopping at the same Venetian
Yes,
mask.
yes, I think we
place.
did.
I think
so.
we
did. So the challenge is to be able to see and read at the same time. So when I say the name Esther, I want everybody to cheer real loud, because later on when we mention this guy's name, we're going to boo. So we should cheer when we hear the name Esther, okay?
You go, girl.
All right. Uvahagia tor na'ara v'na'ara lavo el hamelech ha'chashverosh miketz heyot la kadat hanashim shneim asar chodesh ki ken yimalu yemei merukehen shisha chodeshim b'shemen hamor v'shisha chodeshim b'samim uvtamrukei hanashim uv'zeh ha'na'ara ba'a el hamelech et kol asher tomar Yinatun uvezet hana'ara ba el hamelech et kol asher tamar yinatun lo lavo ima mi beit hanashim ad beit hamelech be'erev hi ba uvaboker hi shava el beit hanashim sheni el yad sha'ashgaz sarim hamelech shomer hapilgashim lo tavo od el hamelech Ki im chafetz ba hamelech v'nikra v'shem v'hagia tor Esther.
You go, girl.
Bat Avichail dod Mordechai asher lakach lo lavat lavo el hamelech lo v'ksha davar ki im et asher yomer chagai sarim hamelech shomer hanashim v'tahi Esther.
You go, girl.
No say, chen beinei kol ro'eha.
Thank you, Rabbi. Rabbi Borovitz. All right, watch out. Watch your step. Okay, and now we've got the Semanskys. Okay, we're going to start with, I think Tova is doing Latin and English, okay? Any Latinists out there here, keep your eyes perked, your ears perked. Go ahead, into the microphone.
Okay, say it right into the
Nice and loud.
All again?
Yes, start again.
Dudka esti quarta ad cabiculum, regis asur.
First line.
I thought
No, first the English line.
Esther was taken to King Ahasuerus in his royal palace in the 10th month, in which the month of Tebeth, in the 7th year of his reign. Depatis esti.
Just read this now.
Depatis ad cabiculum, regis asurarum in sediculum, kivas betet setin ein regis assis.
Okay.
Nice outfit, I love it.
The king loved Esther more.
You did that. That was this.
Oh, that one.
Oh, okay.
English, Spanish, Hebrew.
English, Spanish, and Hebrew. We have a very multilingual Megillah because the main commandment is for it to be read. They never just told us what language to read it in.
Okay. The king gave a great banquet for all his officials and courtiers, the banquet of Esther. He proclaimed a remission of taxes for the provinces and distributed gifts as befits a king. Cuando las vírgenes fueron reunidas por segunda vez, Mordecai estaba sentado a la puerta del rey. En Esther מגדה מולדתה ואת עמה כאשר ציווה עליה מרדכי ואת מאמר מרדכי אסתר עשה כאשר הייתה באמנה איתו.
Beautiful. We had some Esthers in there, so we'll go, girl.
Izati zimwis and mizordi zichis iwis sirizing izati zipizali ziskis eight bizikthis anis antizeris chizuis of these ikizing zizunizix hizugis artis of these his ausis obizikis amis angrizis and plizatis at tizu dizuis always awis kizing izasvis a rizosh.
What language was that?
Fishy talk.
Fishy talk, everybody. Fishy talk.
Mordechai dovedat se proce e rov polvids tsaretze Esther. Esther do povila proce tsarave vid imani Mordechai. Ukrainian.
Ukrainian. Thank you.
Vayevukash hadavar vayematze vayitalu shnehem al etz vayikatev besefer divrei hayamim lifnei hamelech. Hebrew.
Hebrew, that's right. I recognize that one. Thank you so much. And that's the Samanskys. And meanwhile, I'm calling up David Richter and Lauren Grossman for chapter 3. David Richter and Lauren Grossman, please come on up. And meanwhile, Kathleen Vestudo and Sig Rosen for chapter 4. And while they're assembling up here, I'm going to read a little bit of the summaries of chapters 3 and 4. I will bring that down for you if you want. We can bring it down for you if you need. Okay, don't worry. You can sit down there in the front. At the chair. I'll bring it down for you. Oh, okay. Then just a minute. Chapter 3 and 4, here's the summaries. The evil advisor, Haman, boo, convinces the king to have all of the Jews in his empire sent to the gallows on one day, Adar 13, the 13th of Adar. And then on chapter 4, Mordecai gets Esther to be seen by the king. So we're going to start chapter 3. And David Richter, I'm going to bring a microphone down to you.
Hello?
Yeah, it works.
Okay.
Go for it.
אחר הדברים האלה גידל המלך אחשוורוש את המן בן המדתה האגגי וינשאהו וישם את כיסאו מעל כל השרים אשר איתו וכל עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך קוראים ומשתחווים רהמן. כי כן ציוורו המלך ומרדכי לא יכרע ולא ישתחווה.
Won't bow down.
ויאמרו עבדי המלך אשר בשער המלך למרדכי, מדוע אתה עובר את מצוות המלך? ויהי כאומרו מרוב יום ויום, ולא שמע עליהם, ויגידו להמן, לראות יעמדו דברי מרדכי, כי הגיד להם אשר הוא יהודי. וירא המן כי אין מרדכי קורע ומשתחווה לו, וימלא המן חמה, ויבז בעיניו לשלוח יד במרדכי לבדו, כי הגידו לו את עם מרדכי. ויבקש המן להשמיד את כל היהודים אשר בכל מלכות אחשוורוש עם מרדכי, בחודש הראשון הוא חודש ניסן, בשנת 12 למלך אחשוורוש, הפיל פור הוא הגורל לפני המן, מיום ליום ומחודש לחודש 12 הוא חודש אדר.
Bravo. Thank you, David Richter. Bravo. Do you want to bring it back up there? Let's bring it back up there. Okay, let's come on back up. By the way, what you just heard, the word poor, can everybody say poor? Yeah, that means lot. It's one lot. But when we say Purim, that is our holiday. It's the holiday of lots. That's right. And you also heard the first mention of the dreaded Voldemort-like name, which I shall not mention. Take it away, Lauren Grossman.
You hear me okay? So one thing that everyone may not know, Haman. Okay. Haman in French is Aman. Okay?
Okay, that's in French.
In French, H's are never pronounced, so Aman. When I say Aman, that's Haman. Okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay, so en français. Puis, Aman dit au roi Assuérus, il est une nation répandue, disséminée parmi les autres nations dans toutes les provinces de ton royaume. Ces gens ont des lois qui sont différentes de celles de toute autre nation. Contre les lois du roi, ils ne les observent point. Il n'est donc pas de l'intérêt du roi de les conserver. Si tel est le bon plaisir du roi, qu'il soit rendu en ordre écrit de les faire périr, et moi, je mettrai 10 000 kekars d'argent à la disposition des agents royaux pour être versés dans les trésors du roi. Et le roi ôta son anneau du doigt et le remit à Aman,
Boo!
fils de Hamedata l'Agagite, le persécuteur des Juifs. Et le roi dit à Aman, je t'abandonne à la fois l'argent et cette nation, dont tu feras ce que bon te semblera. End of French portion. Okay, we continue. On the 13th day of the first month, the king's scribes were summoned and a decree was issued, as Haman directed to the king's satraps, to the governors of every province, and to the officials of every people, to every province its own script, and to every people in its own language. The orders were issued in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed with the king's signet. Accordingly, written instructions were dispatched by couriers to all the king's provinces to destroy, massacre, and exterminate all the Jews, young and old, children and women, on a single day, on the 13th day of the 12th month, that is the month of Adar, and to plunder their possessions. The text of the document was to the effect that a law should be proclaimed in every single province. It was to be publicly displayed to all the peoples so that they might be ready for that day. The couriers went out post-haste on the royal mission, and the decree was proclaimed in the fortress Shushan. The king and Haman sat down to feast, but the city of Shushan was dumbfounded. That's what you
I'm
told me.
dumbfounded. It's
Me too.
just amazing.
Me too. Me too.
Incredible work. Amazing. Who's next? We're on chapter 4. Kathleen Vestuto.
See, but it's in English. Sorry. When Mordecai learned all that had happened, Mordecai tore his clothes and put on sackcloth and ashes. He went through the city crying loudly and bitterly until he came in front of the palace gate. For one could not enter the palace gate wearing sackcloth. Also, in every province that the king's command and decree reached, there was great mourning among the Jews, with fasting, weeping, and wailing, and everybody in sackcloth and ashes. When
Yay. Yay. You go, girl.
Esther's maidens and eunuchs came and informed her the queen was greatly agitated. She sent clothing for Mordecai to wear so that he might take off the sackcloth, but he refused. Thereupon Esther summoned Hathach, one of the eunuchs whom the king had appointed to serve her, and sent him to Mordecai to learn the why and wherefore of it all. Hathach went out to Mordecai in the city square in front of the palace gate, and Mordecai told him all that had happened to him and all about the money that Haman had offered to pay into the royal treasury for the destruction of the Jews. He also gave him the written text of the law that had been proclaimed in Shushan for their destruction. He bade him show it to Esther.
Yay, next page.
And inform her and charge her to go to the king and appeal to him and to plead with him for their people.
Thank you for the dramatic reading. Sig Rosen.
How you doing?
I'm doing it good. How are you doing?
Pretty good. Better
All
than
right.
some people I know.
Yeah, better than most.
Yeah.
All right, good. Come on. When, number 9.
Okay.
Yeah.
When Hathach came and delivered Mordecai's message to Esther,
Yay.
Esther told
Yay.
Hathach to take back to Mordecai the following reply. All the king's courtiers and the people of the king's provinces know that if any person, man or woman, enters the king's presence in the inner court without having been summoned, there is but one law for him, that he may put to death. Only if the kings extend the golden scepter to him may he live. Now he has not been summoned to visit the king for the last 30 days. When Mordecai was told that Esther had said, Mordecai had this message delivered to Esther. Do not imagine that you, of all the Jews, will escape with your life by being in the king's palace. On the contrary, if you keep silent in this crisis, relief and deliverance will come to the Jews from another quarter, while you and your father's house will perish. And who knows, perhaps you obtain the royal position for such a crisis. Then Esther sent back this answer to Mordecai. Go, assemble all the Jews who live in Shushan and fast on my behalf. Do not eat or drink for 3 days, day or night. I and my maidens will observe the same fast. Then I shall go to the king, though it is contrary to the law, and if I am to perish, I shall perish. So Mordecai went about the city and did just as Esther had commanded him.
Yay. Wonderful. Thank you, Sig.
Sure. Any more?
No, I think that's it. You finished up chapter 5. Good work. Good work. Commendable work, everybody. You're doing a great job. Whoa, we're halfway there. Oh, Megillah and a prayer. So we're entering chapter number 5 and 6. Is Malka Sar here? Malka? Is Malka here? There she is. Okay, Malka, come on up. You're going to start off chapter 5, 1 through 6, and then we have Susan Gregory. I think I saw you earlier. There you are. Come on up. You're going to get us through chapter 5 together. And I'll ask my sister Muriel Singer and Ruth Lebowitz to please come up for chapter 6 meanwhile. And while you're assembling yourselves, I will try to find and read a little chapter summary so we can catch everybody up on what's happening here. In chapter 5, Esther invites the king and Haman to a private party, at which she invites both of them to a second party. Haman decides to erect gallows on which to hang Mordecai, who bravely refuses to bow down to him. That's a pretty important chapter you got. And then on chapter 6, the king is unable to sleep, and on that night is reminded that he never rewarded Mordecai for saving his life. He asks Haman to parade Mordecai around town dressed in royal clothing, riding on the king's horse. So, take it away, chapter 5. Malka.
Y ocurrió al tercer día que Esther vistió sus atavíos reales y fue al patio interior de la casa del rey, frente a la casa real, y el rey estaba sentado en su trono real en la casa real, frente a la entrada de la casa. Y fue así que cuando el rey vio a Esther, la reina parada en el patio, ella halló gracia en sus ojos, y el rey extendió a Esther el cetro de oro que estaba en su mano. Entonces se acercó Esther y tocó la punta del cetro, y le dijo el rey: ¿Qué deseas, reina Esther? Cualquier cosa que me pidas, hasta la mitad del reino, te será concedida. Y le dijo Esther: si le parece bien al rey, venga el rey y Amán con él al banquete que he preparado para él. Y ordenó el rey: llámese presto a Amán para que se haga como Esther ha dicho. De tal suerte el rey y Amán vinieron al banquete que habría preparado Esther. Y a los brindis le dijo el rey a Esther: cualquiera sea tu petición, te será concedida, y cualquiera sea tu requerimiento, aunque sea la mitad del reino, ha de ser cumplido.
Gracias. That's Espanol, everybody, for everybody following along. Beautiful, Malka. Thank you so much. All right, Susan Gregory, take it away. Okay. She's got the light and everything.
Esther répondit:
Yay.
Voici ce que je demande et ce que je désire. Si j'ai trouvé grâce aux yeux du roi, et s'il plaît au roi d'accorder ma demande, et de satisfaire mon désir, que le roi vienne avec Haman au festin que je leur préparerai, et demain je donnerai réponse au roi selon son ordre. Haman sortit ce jour-là joyeux et le cœur content. Mais lorsqu'il vit à la porte du roi Mardochée qui ne se levait ni ne se remuait devant lui, il fut rempli de colère contre Mardochée. Tuttavia Aman si contenne, se ne andò a casa e mandò a chiamare i suoi amici e Zeres, sua moglie. Aman parlò loro della magnificenza delle sue ricchezze, del gran numero dei suoi figli, di tutto quello che il re aveva fatto per renderlo grande e di come l'aveva innalzato al di sopra dei principi e dei servitori del re. E aggiunse: anche la regina Ester non ha fatto venire con il re altri che me al convito che ha dato, e anche per domani sono invitato da lei con il re.
Beautiful. That was, by the way, that was French first and Italian. And what do we got next?
German.
Deutsch. German.
Aber das alles befriedigt mich nicht, solange ich Mordecai, den Juden, im Tor des Königs sitzen sehe. Da sprachen seine Frau Zeres und alle seine Freunde zu ihm: Man soll einen Holzstamm zubereiten, 50 Ellen hoch. Dann sage du morgen dem König, dass man Mordecai daran hängen soll. So kannst du fröhlich mit dem König zum Mahl gehen. Das gefiel Haman gut. Das gefiel Haman gut. Und er ließ den Holzstamm zubereiten.
Dankeschön.
Bitte schön.
Tschüss. Okay. Meine Schwester, my sister, Muriel, come read. And in the meanwhile, Rabbi Tracy Kaplowitz is going to make her way up to chant through number 7 after I read a little summary. Go for it, Muriel.
That night, sleep deserted the king, and he ordered the book of records, the annals to be brought, and it was read to the annals to be brought, and it was read to the king. There it was found written that Mordecai had denounced Bigthana and Teresh, 2 of the king's eunuchs who guarded the threshold, who had plotted to do away with King Ahasuerus. What honor or advancement has been conferred on Mordecai for this? The king inquired. Nothing at all has been done for him, replied the king's servant, who was in attendance on him. This is where I meow.
You're going to do meow language,
No.
really?
Who is in the court? The king asked. For Haman
Meow.
had just entered the outer court of the royal palace to speak to the king about having Mordecai impaled on the stake as he prepared for him. It is Haman standing in the court. The king's servants answered him, Let him enter, said the king. Haman entered, and the king asked him, What should be done for a man whom the king desires to honor? Haman said to himself, Whom would the king desire to honor more than me? So Haman said to the king, for the man whom the king desires to honor.
That was in honor of her cat, Susie.
Midnight and Sky and Trotwood as well.
Okay, thank you. The whole Singer cat family. Take it away. I got to show you where. Okay, so I'm going to help you. We're number 8, 6, 8 through 14. That's number 8.
Okay.
You're in exactly the right spot. You just stand up here and do it into the microphone, please.
יביאו לבש מלכותו אשר לבש בו המלך וסוס אשר רכב עליו, המלך אשר נתן כתר מלכותו בראשו ונתן לבש הסוס על ידי איש מצרי המלך הפטמים ולבשו את איש אשר המלך חפץ בידיו והרכיבי בו על הסוס ורחב העיר וקראו לפניו קרבה ישר לאיש אשר המלך חפץ ביקרו ויאמר המלך ויתאמן מהר קח את הלבוש ואת הסוס כאשר דיבר אישה בן למרדכי היהודי וישב בשער המלך.
Next page.
על תפל דבר מכל אשר דיברת וכך אמן את לבוש את הסוס ולבש את מרדכי וירחיבו ברחוב העיר יקרא לפניו כמה יעשה לאיש אשר המלך חפץ ויקראו. ישב מרדכי על שער המלך ונמן נדחף אל ביתיו וחופרי ראש ויאסור אמן לבש אשתו בכל הבראיו את כל אשר קראו ויאמרו לו חכמיו וזרש אשתו עם מזורה היהודים מרדכי אשר הלכות נפל בפניו ולא תוכל לו כי תפל לפניו. עודים מדברים אשר יחסי המלך הגיעו ויבהלו להביא את המן אל המשתנה אשר עשתה אסתר.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Rabbi Tracy Kaplowitz. She's going to take us through all of chapter 7. She's going to do a beautiful job of chanting it. And in the meanwhile, if I could please have Michael Joseph and Steve Kashub to please come up. Please come up. And meanwhile, I'll read the summaries for 7 and 8 while they're making their way up. At the second party, Esther tells the king that Haman wishes to exterminate her people. Enraged, the king has Haman strung up on the gallows that he had prepared, the same ones. Then in chapter 8, orders are issued in the king's name, authorizing the Jews to defend themselves and take care of those who wish to take care of them.
ויבוא המלך והמן לשתות עם אסתר המלכה ויאמר המלך לאסתר גם ביום השני במשתה היין מה שלצך אסתר המלכה ותינתן לך ומה בקשתך חצי המלכות ותעש ותן אסתר המלכה ותאמר אם מצאתי חן בעיניך המלך במלך טוב, תינתן לי נפשי בשאלתי ועמי בבקשתי. כי נמכרנו אני ועמי להשמיד, להרוג ולאבד, ואילו לעבדים ולשפחות נמכרנו החרשתי, כי אין הצר שווה בנזק המלך. ויאמר המלך אחשוורוש, ויאמר לאסתר המלכה, מיהו זה ואיזה הוא אשר מלא ליבו לעשות כן? ותאמר אסתר, איש צר ואויב המן, הרע הזה והמן ניבא מלפני המלך והמלכה, והמלך קם בחמתו ממשתה היין אל גינת הביתן, והמן עמד לבקש על נפשו מאסתר המלכה, כי ראה כי חטא אליו הרע מאת המלך, והמלך שב מגינת הביתן אל בית משתה היין, והמן נופל על המיטה אשר אסתר עליה. ויאמר המלך אגם לכבוש את המלכה עמי בבית. הדבר יצא מפי המלך ופני המן חפו. ויאמר חרבונה אחד מן הסריסים לפני המלך, גם הנה העץ אשר עשה המן למרדכי, אשר דיבר טוב על המלך עומד בבית המן גבוה 50 אמה. ויאמר המלך תלו עליו, ויתלו את המן על העץ אשר הכין למרדכי, וחמת המלך שכחה.
Bravo! Excellent. Kol hakavod. And now we're going to continue on to chapter 8 with Michael Joseph and Stephen Kashub. And then all of the people who are reading from chapter 9 should probably make their way up. We're getting to the final countdown now. So I believe we have Rabbi Cantor Samantha Natov first, and then Charlotte Cohn, and I believe Isaiah Benedek, and no, not Ryan, Josh Morer. So make your way up, please. And now we're going to begin. I'm going to read chapter 8 and 9. So the orders are issued in the king's name, authorizing the Jews to defend themselves. And then in chapter 9, I'll read that before chapter 9. Go ahead. Okay. Chapter 8.
That very day, King Ahasuerus gave the property of Haman, the enemy of the Jews, to Queen Esther. Mordecai presented himself to the king, for Esther had revealed how he was related to her. The king slipped off his ring, which he had taken back from Haman, and given it to Mordecai. And Esther put Mordecai in charge of Haman's property. Esther spoke to the king again, falling at his feet and weeping, and beseeching him to avert the evil plotted by Haman, the Agagite, against the Jews. The king extended the golden scepter to Esther, and Esther arose and stood before the king. If it please your majesty, she said, and if I have won your favor, and if the proposal seems right to your majesty, and if I am pleasing to you, let dispatches be written, countermanding those which were written by Haman, son of Hammedatha the Agagite, embodying his plot to annihilate the Jews throughout the king's provinces. For how can I bear to see the disaster which will befall my people? And how can I bear to see the destruction of my kindred? Then King Ahasuerus said to Queen Esther, and Mordecai the Jew, I have given Haman's property to Esther.
Yay!
And he has been impaled on the stake for scheming against the Jews. And you may further write, with regard to the Jews as you see fit. Write it in the king's name and seal it with the king's signet, for an edict that has been written in the king's name and sealed with the king's signet may not be revoked. So the king's scribes were summoned at that time on the 23rd day of the 3rd month, that is, the month of Sivan, and the letters were written at Mordecai's dictation to the Jews, to the satraps, the governors, and the officials of the 127 provinces from India to Ethiopia, to every province in its own script, and to every people in its own language, and to the Jews in their own script and language. He had them written in the name of King Ahasuerus and sealed with the king's signet. Letters were dispatched by mounted couriers riding steeds, used in the king's service, bred of the royal stud, to this effect: the king has permitted the Jews of every city to assemble and fight for their lives. If any people or province attacks them, they may destroy, massacre, and exterminate its armed force together with women and children and plunder their possessions. On a single day, all the provinces of King Ahasuerus, namely on the 13th day of the 12th month, that is, the month of Adar.
Stephen, Kashib, please.
Should I start now? Thank you. The text of the document was to be issued as a law in every single province. It was to be publicly displayed to all the peoples, so that the Jews should be ready for that day to avenge themselves on their enemies. The couriers, mounted on royal steeds, went out in urgent haste at the king's command, and the decree was proclaimed in the fortress Shushan. Mordecai left the king's presence in royal robes of blue and white, with a magnificent crown of gold and a mantle of fine linen and purple wool. And the city of Shushan rang with joyous cries. The Jews enjoyed light and gladness, happiness and honor. And in every province and in every city, when the king's command and decree arrived, there was gladness and joy among the Jews, a feast and a holiday. And many of the people of the land professed to be Jews, for the fear of the Jews had fallen upon them.
Yay! All right, excellent work. And now for the penultimate chapter, I should say. The Jews defended themselves on the 13th of Adar and the rest of Adar 14. In the capital of Shushan, an extra day is needed, and the rest is delayed to Adar 15. Esther has the events recorded, and the scrolls are sent to Jews all over the place. At this point in the story that describes how the 10 sons of Haman were killed and hanged on the gallows, the words in the Megillah are actually stacked in a special column using a format that is only seen in a few places in the scripture. You can keep it up. Thanks.
And in that part, you're supposed to do it all. Tradition has us do it all in one breath.
One breath. Can you do it, Rabbi?
I don't know. We'll see.
All right, tune in and find out, everybody. Here, let me fix this for you. There's something goofier here going on. I don't know what it is. Anyway, try it.
ובשנים עשר חודש הוא חודש אדר, ב13 יום בו אשר הגיע דבר המלך ודעתו להיעשות ביום אשר סיברו אויבי היהודים לשלוט בהם ונהפוך הוא אשר ישלטו היהודים המה בשונאיהם נקהלו היהודים בעריהם בכל מדינות המלך אחשוורוש לשלוח יד
במבקשי רעתם, ואיש לא עמד לפניהם, כי נפל פחדם על כל העמים, וכל שרי המדינות, והאחשדר פנים וחפחות, ועושי המלאכה אשר למלך, מנשאים את היהודים, כי נפל פחד מרדכי עליהם, כי גדול מרדכי בבית המלך, ושמעו הולך בכל המדינות, כי האיש מרדכי הולך בגדול. ויכו היהודים בכל אויביכם, מכת חרב והרג ואבדן, ויעשו בשונאיהם כרצונם. ובשושן הבירה הרגו היהודים ואבד 500 איש. ואת פרשנדתה ואת טלפון ואת עצפתה ואת פורתה ואת אדליה ואת אריסתה ואת פרמסתה ואת אריסי ואת ארידי ואת ויזת עשרת בני המן בן המדתה. צורר היהודים הרגו ובביזה לא שלחו את ידם.
It's okay, I can raise it.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
ביום ההוא בא מספר ההרוגים בשושן הבירה לפני המלך. ויאמר המלך לאסתר המלכה בשושן הבירה, הרגו היהודים ואבד 500 איש, ואת 10 בני המן בשאר מדינות המלך. בשאר מדינות המלך. מה עשו ומה שאלתך, וינתן לך, ומה בקשתך עוד ותעש. ותאמר אסתר, אם על המלך טוב, יינתן גם מחר ליהודים אשר בשושן לעשות כדת היום, ואת 10 בני המן יתלו על העץ. ויאמר המלך לעשות כן, ותינתן דת בשושן, ואת 10 בני המן תלו. ויקהלו היהודים אשר בשושן גם ביום 14 לחודש אדר, ויהרגו בשושן 300 איש, ובביזה לא שלחו את ידם.
תודה רבה.
בבקשה.
Oh, yours includes 16 actually. So go ahead.
Hello again.
Yeah.
I shall continue.
Sorry.
That's fine.
Okay.
ושאר היהודים אשר במדינות המלך נקהלו, ועמוד על נפשם, ונוח מאויביהם, והרוג בשונאיהם 75,000, ובביזה לא שלחו את ידם.
Thank you very much.
That's it?
Yeah,
Are you sure?
Don't
Okay.
call us. We'll call
no,
you.
It's fine.
okay.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next to follow. All right. So that was on the 13th day of the month of Adar. And they rested on the 14th day and made it a day of feasting and merrymaking. But the Jews in Shushan mustered on both the 13th and 14th days, and so rested on the 15th and made it a day of feasting and merrymaking. That is why village Jews who live in unwalled towns observe the 14th day of the month of Adar and make it a day of merrymaking and feasting, and as a holiday and an occasion for sending gifts to one another. Mordecai recorded these events, and he sent dispatches to all the Jews throughout the provinces of King Ahasuerus, near and far, charging them to observe the 14th and 15th days of Adar every year, the same days on which the Jews enjoyed relief from their foes, and the same month which had been transformed for them from one of grief and mourning to one of festive joy. They were to observe them as days of feasting and merrymaking, and as an occasion for sending gifts to one another and presents to the poor.
Thank you. Bravo. And my, huh?
Where did he end?
Yeah, you're the grand finale.
Where did he end?
Oh, where did he? I believe he ended at 22. You're going to start at 23. Number 9, 23 through 32. Is that correct?
Great.
Yeah, that's not what I didn't.
Oh.
Yeah, I got you.
You got, okay, sorry. I think we went back and forth with one person.
So from here?
Yeah, from there, my bad.
Yep. Not your bad. It's all good. I have my security detail.
All right, very nice.
Okay.
This is Josh Moore. We used to sing together in 613, by the way. Pretty awesome.
Reveal.
Pretty awesome too.
וקיבל היהודים את אשר החלו לעשות ואת אשר כתב מרדכי עליהם כי המן בן המדתה הגגי צורר כל היהודים חשב על היהודים לעבדם והפיל פור הוא הגורל להומם ולעבדם ובבואה לפני המלך אמר אם הספר ישוב מה חשבתו הרע אשר חשב על יהודים על ראשו ותלו אותו ואת פניו על העץ על כן קראו לימים האלה פורים על שם הפור על כן על כל דברי האיגרת הזאת ומראו על ככה ומהגיע עליהם קימו וקיבל היהודים עליהם ועל זרם ועל כל הנביאים עליהם ולא יעבור להיות עושים על שני הימים האלה ככתבם וכזמנם בכל שנה ושנה בימים האלה נזכרים ונעשים בכל דור ודור משפחה ומשפחה מדינה ומדינה ועיר ועיר וימי הפורים האלה לא יעברו מתוך היהודים וזכרם לא יסוף מזרם ותכתוב אסתר המלכה ותביא חיל מרדכי היהודים את כל תוקף לקיים את איגרת הפורים הזאת השנית וישלח ספרים את כל היהודים אל 27 מדינה מלכות אחשוורוש דברי שלום ואמת לקיים את ימי הפורים האלה בזמניהם כאשר קיים עליהם מרדכי היהודים ואסתר המלכה וכאשר קיימו על נפשם ועל זרם דברי הצומות וזעקתם ומאמר אסתר קיים דברי הפורים האלה נכתבם בספר.
Bravo. Thank you so much. Josh Moore, everybody. Thank you so much for bringing us back to the very end here. And now, the last final chapter we have, it's a very short one. It's the shortest one. It's only a few verses. And after this, we're going to launch into a parade. Okay, we're going to have a costume parade. So anybody who wants to get in on the costume parade, please get into line. And we'll start that soon right after this, after we do a blessing, okay? So, chapter 10, it says, the events are included in the records of Persia and Media, and Mordecai is a wildly popular viceroy. So after I finish this, we'll do a quick blessing. ויעשם המלך אחשוורוש מס על הארץ ויהי הים וכל מעשה תוקפו וגבורתו ופרשת גדולת מרדכי אשר גידלו המלך הלא הם כתובים על ספר דברי הימים למלכי מדי ופרס כי כי מרדכי היהודי משנה למלך אחשוורוש וגדול ליהודים ורצוי לרוב אחיו דורש טוב לעמו ודובר שלום לכל זרעו. That's the Ganze Megillah. Now, we do the blessing after it. It's on the back page here, okay? So let's do this together. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, הרב את ריבנו ואדן את עינינו, והנוקם את נקמתנו, משלם גמול לכל אויבי נפשנו. והנפרע לנו מצרינו, ברוך אתה אדוני, הנפרע לעמו ישראל, מכל צריהם, האל המושיע. And that's the Ganze Megillah from beginning to end. Now, I'm going to come over here. Are you ready for a parade, everybody? See if I can get this off my head. Okay. Are we ready for a parade, everybody? Oops. My bad. Are we ready for a parade? All right, friends. Let's do this. 1, 2, ready, let's go. Oh, once there was a wicked, wicked man, and Haman was his name, sir. He would have gotten all the Jews, but they were not to blame, sir. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. And not some momentation. Ya la la la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. And Esther was the lovely queen of King Ahasuerus. Esther said, "Get them." Oh, how did it scare us? Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. Oh, today will Mary, Mary be. And not some Tashin. Come and see our Purim, Purim day. Come and see our Purim spiel, mighty wonders will reveal. A Purim, a happy Purim day. See the Megillah slowly unwinding, and now come Esther and sing with the King. The Megillah slowly unwinding, and now come Esther and sing in the King. Yada la 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 la. Get the groggers ready now, while every actors take a bow and put on their masks in a happy Purim day. Get the groggers ready now, with actors bow and put on their masks in actors bright and gay. Haman's the villain, Haman's the villain, we'll get that villain. Da, 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 da. Ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la, ya la 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 la. On Purim, on Purim, on Purim day. On Purim, on Purim, on Purim, Purim day. Hey! חג פורים, חג פורים, חג גדול ליהודים, מסכות רשנים, זמירות ריקודים. Havana risha rash rash rash, Havana risha rash rash rash, Havana risha rash rash rash, Baharashanim. Chag Purim, Chag Gadol LaYehudim, Masechot Rashanim, Zvirot Rekodim. Havana risha rash rash rash, Havana risha rash rash rash, Havana risha rash rash rash, Baharashanim.
Purim Day, gladsome, joyous holiday. Happy throngs, singing songs, gladsome, joyous say. Let's make a party, rah, rah, rah. Big loud noises, gra, gra, gra. Let's all shout and shout hooray with the groggers play. Hey, ya la la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la, ya la la, ya la 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 la. Ya la la la, ya hash, hash, hash. Hamaricha, rash, rash, rash. Hamaricha, rash, rash, rash. Parashanim, Hari Purim, Sameach, Umbareach, Halorak Pa'amashana, Avola Hitareach, Yalai, 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 Hari Purim, Sameach, Umbareach, Halorak Pa'amashana, Avola Hitareach, Yalai, 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 la 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 ya la la ya la 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 ya 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 la 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 la. Utsu etza betupa gamru gamban velo yaku. Utsu etza betupa dabru dabar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betupa dabru dabar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betupa dabru dabar velo yakum. Utsu etza betupa dabru dabar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakum. Utsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Hey, ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ya la 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 la. Ki Immanuel. Utsu etza betufar, dabru davar velo yakum ki Immanuel. Amen, was mi nombre, back in the old west. They thought the Jews would bow down to him, 'cause they thought he was the best. But he didn't reckon on the guy who would reckon by the name of Mordecai. A cowboy Purim, cowboy Purim. 3 fried home and touching. A cowboy Purim. There you go, cowboy Purim. More cowbell. Every fried Mordecai will squash him. Oh, you be, 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 oh, you be. Mordecai trailers him to a do. They met on the streets of town. More than one watching that fateful day when Mordecai, he brought old Amen down. Had a 6 grogger in each hand when he was through his peace on the land, and his name was Mordecai. Everybody, cowboy Purim, Cowboy Purim, free fried home in Tashin. A Cowboy Purim, Cowboy Purim, Mordecai will squash him. Oh, you oh, you hey man, hey man, hey man, hey man.